Welcome to Boston, your ultimate travel guide. Hello everyone, and welcome to Boston. Colonial history sits next to modern innovation. Walk the same paths as revolutionary heroes in the morning, explore a contemporary neighborhood in the afternoon. My goal: help you navigate this blend of past and present. Designed for everyone. History buffs, foodies, families, solo travelers. Our journey through Boston is broken into 3 main acts, making it easy to digest. First, we'll dive right into the historic heart of the city. We're talking about the must-see sites along the iconic Freedom Trail, Boston Common, Faneuil Hall, Paul Revere House. All right, let's jump right into the heart of Boston's history. The best place to start is the Freedom Trail, 2.5-mile red line on the sidewalk. It guides you through 16 historic sites. It's an absolute must-do. Power and protest. The State House and Old South Meeting House. As you cross Beacon Street from the Common, your eyes will be drawn to the magnificent Massachusetts State House. That massive 23-karat gold dome is an iconic part of the Boston skyline. Designed by the famous architect Charles Bulfinch, this building has been the seat of the Massachusetts government since 1798. It's a symbol of both state power and American democracy. You can admire it from the outside. Anne Hutchinson, John F. Kennedy. Or you can take a free guided tour on weekdays. The tours are fantastic and give you a peek inside at the stunning architecture and historic chambers. This is where thousands of colonists gathered on December 16, 1773, to debate the hated tea tax. After a fiery meeting here, the Boston Tea Party was launched. For the Old South Meeting House, you will need to buy a ticket to go inside, but it's well worth the small fee. You can usually buy a combination ticket that also gives you access to the Old State House, which we'll get to soon. Try to imagine it filled to the brim with angry Bostonians. It was here that Samuel Adams gave the secret signal that started the protest. The Cradle of Liberty, Faneuil Hall, and Quincy Market. Our next destination is a bustling hub that has been central to Boston for centuries, Faneuil Hall. Known as the Cradle of Liberty, this historic marketplace and meeting hall was a gift to the city in 1742. The hall hosted America's first town meeting, and that tradition continues today. It's still a site for political debates and speeches, keeping its revolutionary spirit alive. The North End and Paul Revere's house. Leaving the hustle and bustle of Quincy Market, the Freedom Trail leads you across the Rose Kennedy Greenway and into the North End. This is Boston's oldest residential neighborhood, and as you step onto its narrow, winding streets, right in the heart of the North End, nestled among the brick tenements, you'll find the Paul Revere House. This modest wooden house, built around 1680, is the oldest building in downtown Boston. It was the home of the legendary patriot Paul Revere when he set off on his famous midnight ride on April 18, 1775, to warn that the British were coming. Section 1. The elegance of Back Bay, Copley Square and Newbury Street. Now that we've walked through history, let's explore the neighborhoods that give Boston its unique character. We'll start in Back Bay. Stunning Victorian brownstone homes, upscale shops, cultural institutions. The heart of this neighborhood is Copley Square, a beautiful public plaza that showcases Boston's architectural diversity. You'll see the contrast between the old and the new. On one side stands the magnificent Trinity Church, and directly across is the sleek glass John Hancock Tower. The square is also home to the Boston Public Library. Another architectural gem you can explore for free. Established in 1848, it was the first large free municipal library in the United States. Step inside the original McKim building. See the Grand Bates Hall reading room and the serene interior courtyard. From the polished streets of Back Bay, let's take a short walk over to Beacon Hill. Arguably, Boston's most picturesque neighborhood, you know. As you cross Boston Common and head up the hill, you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. Beacon Hill is a maze of narrow, gaslit streets and brick sidewalks, lined with stunning Federal-style row houses. As Boston's Little Italy, the North End is a true culinary destination. Hanover Street, Salem Street, packed with an overwhelming number of incredible Italian restaurants, cafes, bakeries. The two most famous spots, Mike's Pastry and Modern Pastry, are located just a block from each other on Hanover Street, and the rivalry is legendary. Mike's is known for its huge variety of flavors and its iconic white box with blue lettering, while Modern is famous for filling their classic cannoli shells to order. Boston is home to some truly world-class museums, and if you're an art lover, you're in for a treat. The Museum of Fine Arts, or MFA, is one of the most comprehensive art museums in the world. Its collection is vast, spanning nearly every culture and time period imaginable. You can see everything from ancient Egyptian artifacts and impressionist masterpieces by Monet and Renoir to one of the finest collections of Japanese art outside of Japan. The Art of the Americas wing is particularly impressive, taking you on a journey through American art and history from top to bottom. After exploring the dense history and bustling neighborhoods, it's time to enjoy Boston's beautiful outdoor spaces. One of the best places to do this is along the Charles River Esplanade. This 3-mile stretch of parkland runs along the Boston side of the river, offering stunning views of the Cambridge skyline and the sailboats gliding across the water. Boston's relationship with the water defines its history and its present, and there's no better way to experience this than by exploring the Boston Harbor Walk. This public walkway will eventually stretch 43 miles. It winds along the city's waterfront, connecting piers, wharves, and neighborhoods. It links the Seaport District to Charlestown. Walking a section gives fantastic views of Boston Harbor, Logan Airport, and the city skyline. From here, you can walk toward the historic North End, passing by the New England Aquarium and Christopher Columbus Waterfront Park. The park is a lovely green space with a beautiful wisteria-covered trellis that's especially picturesque in the spring. You simply cannot leave Boston without indulging in its most famous culinary offerings. Let's start with the quintessential New England classic, clam chowder. Proper Boston clam chowder is creamy and thick, packed with tender clams and potatoes. You'll find it on menus everywhere. High-end seafood spots and casual pubs. Try it in a sourdough bread bowl at Quincy Market. Perfect comfort food on a cool or rainy day. Ask a local for their favorite spot. Everyone has an opinion. When evening falls, Boston's character shifts, and a different kind of energy emerges. The city's nightlife is as diverse as its neighborhoods, offering something for every taste and mood. For a classic Boston experience, head to one of the city's many historic pubs. Places like the Bell in Hand Tavern or the Green Dragon Tavern offer a chance to grab a pint of beer in a space steeped in history. The area around Fenway Park, especially Lansdowne Street, is home to several large music venues and lively bars that get packed on game nights and weekends. For something a bit more intimate, Cambridge, just across the river, is known for its folk and indie rock clubs, like the legendary Club Passam in Harvard Square. In Boston proper, neighborhoods like Allston and Brighton are filled with smaller venues and dive bars where you can catch up-and-coming local bands any night of the week. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the very best of Boston. We have journeyed together through the city's historic heart, starting with the iconic Red Line of the Freedom Trail, where every step tells a story of revolution and resilience. We stood in the very rooms where patriots debated liberty and walked the same cobblestone streets as Paul Revere. Beyond the history, we explored Boston's neighborhoods, Back Bay brownstones, Newbury Street shops, Beacon Hill gaslit alleys, North End food, cannolis, simmering red sauce kitchens, Fenway's artistic treasures. Before you go, here are a few final practical tips to make your Boston trip as smooth as possible. First, let's talk about transportation. Boston is incredibly walkable, but to get between neighborhoods, the subway, known as the T, is your best friend. Consider getting a Charlie card or Charlie ticket for a few days. You can load money onto it and simply tap to ride the trains and buses, which is much easier than paying for single fares each time. It's an efficient system that will save you time and money. When visiting the many historic sites, especially places like the Old South Meeting House or the Paul Revere House, remember that you are stepping into a piece of preserved history. These are not just tourist attractions. They are fragile links to the past that require care. Touching artifacts is generally forbidden. It ensures that future generations will be able to have the same incredible experience that you are having. Boston is a city that rewards exploration. Whether you have one day or a full week, you can craft an amazing experience. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.